Hi, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvelously well. As ever, please subscribe. Go to producelikeapro.com and you can sign up for the email list to get a whole bunch of free stuff, which we're adding more stuff to daily. And of course, you can try out the 14-day free trial of the Academy. We're building a community of like-minded people like ourselves so we can learn off each other. It's a lot of fun, so please try that out as well. Today, we're going to do a giveaway. So the lovely people at Carl Martin have given us this. It is a PlexiTone low gain pedal. Now my guess is it's emulating the classic Marshall Plexi sound. I haven't even tried it out yet, it's plugged in, but I like to do this from cold because I want to have that experience of being a guitar player plugging in the pedal for the first time, as opposed to like going to 3 different sounds that I've already figured out. It's better for me, it's more exciting, and it's definitely better for you because you get the experience of what it's actually like to try a pedal out for the first time. So, we've got this Carl Martin Roadie amp that we're going to use with the pedal. I'm going to set the amp actually relatively clean. Now normally, as you know, I suggest setting the amp on a crunch, and I think that that would add to the sound in particular, but my gut is if we set the amp cleaner here and let the pedal do the crunch work, we'll get a better idea of what it really sounds like. Because you may not have a tube amp at home, or you might be using an amp simulator. You might be using a Kemper or an Axe Effects or a Bias virtual plugin or whatever it is that you use. So I want to give you a much better idea of what the pedal actually sounds like, as opposed to, you know, there being amp distortion on there. So let's try it out. So we've got a relatively clean tone here. I've noticed using this Carl Martin amp, the Roadie, one of the best things is to drive the EQs heavily on this, just to get some fullness. We used this amp on the recent Robert John on the Wreck album we're actually mixing at the moment, so I had a lot of fun with it. So that's pretty clean, pretty fat. Okay, great. So let's put this pedal through its paces. I'm going to turn everything down. All right, so it's definitely an off position. Well, what I do like on first reaction is the knobs are really stiff, so it actually makes it easier to recall, as opposed to when you get the cheaper knobs and you can accidentally brush against it like this. You know, that takes a lot of effort to turn it up, so that's kind of nice. Okay. Well, there's definitely a lot of brightness to be added. There's definitely a lot of brightness to be added here. Okay, so this is everything in the center. Let's see what we've got. Everything straight up. Take the pedal out. Pedal back in. It sounds very amp-like. I mean, that's really the idea. A lot of distortion pedals that I've tried over the years basically sound like distortion pedals. They don't sound like natural tube distortion, which sometimes can be good. The old Boss DS1 was always a favorite of mine. Remember the orange one? This is nice. All right, let's go for some mega gain. See what we got out of this thing. Remember, there's no drive on the amp. That's pretty tasty. Great drive. I mean, that's a pretty special guitar tone. I really like it. So I'm going to try this as a solo. Actually, one more thing. Let's try one more thing. Let's try driving the amp hard with the level. Okay, that's pretty tasty. Probably much more than I need, but really natural sounding distortion. And you know, sometimes, like I say, you don't want natural sounding distortion. The old Boss DS1 wasn't a natural sounding distortion, but it was really cool. The OD ones were good. This feels like, in my naive assumption, somewhere between the two. It's kind of got that overdrive sound. It's kind of got some of that natural distortion, but it's a lot more tubey sounding than most distortion pedals. I use their pedals a lot. I've been using their Echo Tone for a long time now. I use it on pretty much every recording I do. I started using that during the Aerosmith record. We used it a lot on Joe Perry's Tone because it sounded close enough to tape an analog echo for us without adding all the noise and hiss that, of course, an analog echo would do. So great stuff, really well made. And the best thing about this is this one, I've just tried out for the first time, is going to be given away in a competition. And it's the usual raffle system, so check that out. Okay, so let's try this in a track. So I'm going to do an outro solo, and I'm going to hear what it sounds like. Let's have some fun. All right, so we're on input. Let's have a listen. Now on the Roadie amp, I'm going to add a little verb because it is some lead parts. Great. Pretty awesome. All right, let's try the outro of this song.
Oh, I'll get you feeling alright. We could be living it up, 'cause I know there's trouble in your eyes. We can get into it, baby. Get into it, baby, tonight. What you doing tonight? What you doing? Give me a call. I'll get you feeling alright. Get you feeling good. Living up shit, I know. There's trouble in your eyes. We can get into it, baby. Oh, we can get into it. We can get into it, baby, tonight. No, no. Get into it.
I think I paid absolutely no attention to the chord sequence there, just kind of like made it up as I went. Great stuff. So it's a fantastic pedal. My one and only take, paying little or no attention to the chord sequence, was fun, but you know, hey, it's spontaneous and that's a great thing. The reverb on this amp is really special. You know, just what I like about it is it has that tone control. And the fact that you can darken up the reverb or you can brighten the reverb is a big deal, because quite often I like committing tones, as you know. I like committing guitar sounds, bass sounds, drum sounds. I like them to have a certain sound because that gives me inspiration for recording the next sound, or you know, whatever the next overdub might be. If I've committed to a sound, it will point me in that direction of what to do. So very often, if you print a reverb and it's too dark or it's too bright or whatever, it's wrapped up in the sound. So what we don't do is we don't print reverbs on guitars and we try and figure it out in the mix later. And that's a little backwards thinking to me. So what I'd like to do, what I like to do is print the way I want to hear it. So having that tone control on the reverb is a huge deal. Anyway, great pedal. Please enter the competition. Go to the raffle and do all the usual things that you do to get it. Thanks, Carl Martin, for giving us the pedal so we can give it away. And as ever, please sign up at producelikeapro.com, get a whole bunch of free stuff, try out the Academy and subscribe. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Thank you ever so much for watching.